We could wait and see.
Or we could bring in Andy McCarthy. He's a former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York and a Fox News contributor. Andy, good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
All right. Hey, listen, what does this mean for the case against Hunter Biden if this individual from the IRS gets whistleblower status?
Well, it doesn't mean anything in particular in terms of a compulsory outcome with respect to Hunter, because the Justice Department can still either charge him or not. But it does obviously turn up the investigative heat. It ensures that the person who has come forward has some legal protections from being fired or otherwise having retribution brought down on him for going public. I should point out that he seems to have done it the right way. The reporting I've seen seems to indicate that it's a he that we're talking about. But what you're supposed to do, Sean, is internally go to the different agencies first and raise your concerns. He did that. He went to the IRS Inspector General and the DOJ Inspector General, and then you go to Congress. So this is the way you're supposed to do it, not like run to the media in the first instance.
Andy, the attorney for this IRS supervisory agent also says that the whistleblower has evidence that will, quote, contradict sworn testimony to Congress by a senior political appointee. And that political appointee, according to Miranda Devine, is said to be none other than Attorney General Merrick Garland, who had this to say, talking about what he said to Congress back in March in front of a Senate committee about the independence of the U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware. Listen to this. I want to get your reaction.
He has been advised that he is not to be denied anything that he needs, and if that were to happen, it should ascend through the department's ranks, and I have not heard anything from that office to suggest that they are not able to do everything that the U.S. Attorney wants to do.
Evidence to contradict Merrick Garland means Merrick Garland's lying. So what do you make of all of this?
Well, that sounds like a very lawyerly statement to me, Dagan. What he's saying is that he hasn't heard anything from that office. He didn't actually come out and say there wasn't anything to be heard or there was no interference, and I can guarantee that. So I think the answer is a little bit slippery, but it just seems to me, Dagan, that what's going on here is obvious. And I would just point out, Hunter had this situation in 2018 where within a week's time, he makes a false statement on a gun form that the federal government makes you fill out. So he's got the false statement. He gets the gun. He irresponsibly handles it. They lose the gun across the street from a school. And in the meantime, the government develops evidence where he's seen waving the gun around while he's cavorting with a prostitute. Now, for a competent investigator, and the person we're talking about tonight is someone who is a supervisory investigator at the IRS, but I'm just talking about borderline competence. That case takes 5 days to wrap up, not 5 years. So the thought that if some of the stuff that he's involved in is so straightforward, the thought that we're now in like 5, 6, 7 years removed from some of this activity and none of it's ever been charged, it's implausible. If it was one of the three of us, we'd have been charged eons ago.
So, Andy, real quick, I have a minute left. So is there too much evidence to close the investigation, but not a political will to actually prosecute Hunter Biden? I mean, I don't understand how it can take 6, 7 years to have this case open and not have a resolution.
And Sean, that's why God made the statute of limitations. Right. You don't get to wring your hands forever and ever. At a certain point in time, the clock is ticking. And if you don't bring the charges, you lose them. So a competent prosecutor brings the charges.
But real quick, but Hunter Biden, as you said, to quote an Andy McCarthy, you yourself, is the sideshow. It's national security. Yeah. And Joe Biden, and as you said, it is these rogue regimes that and the people who all of a sudden started courting Hunter Biden once Joe Biden was put in charge under Barack Obama of the foreign policy for said rogue regimes back in the day. Will we ever get to the root of that?
I expect that the Republicans are going to press very hard on this, and the national security implications of millions of dollars being paid into the coffers of the Biden family by anti-American regimes and what they think they purchased for that is far more important than whatever the criminal implications are for Hunter Biden.
It sounds like they're getting a good bang for their buck when we look at this administration and Joe Biden and the presidency. Andy McCarthy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.